This is Coop with GarageGymReviews.com, and today I'm going to review the Position USA Blue Suede Shoes 2.0. The first thing I want to discuss today is the looks, okay? You can tell just by looking at these whether you like them or not. To me, when I first saw these, this was one of the coolest shoes I'd ever seen. They remind me of the ASICS, it's basically the ASICS Tiger weightlifting shoes. You've probably seen them. They make them in Korea. They're very hard to find in the US. And when I saw those, I knew I had to have them. The problem is they're super expensive and very hard to find. Now, when I saw these, they have pretty much the exact same color as you can see, but also have the similar wood heel. Now, the wood heel to me not only looks cool, but it functions great as well. The leather that's used on this is what's called ox split leather. It's a high quality leather that's then been dyed. And you know, one thing about this shoe that you can tell is it's a handmade shoe. Okay, this isn't, you know, something that you'd find in Nike, things like that. Sure, it doesn't have the pristine, I guess, zero tolerances that a shoe made by a machine has. However, you can tell that there's been some work put into this, and it's definitely a quality shoe. That was the first thing I worried about when I saw these. I said, sure, they look awesome, but are they going to last and be durable enough you know, to be put through the paces on the platform? Because as you know, anybody that uses a weightlifting shoe, these things, you know, take some beating over time. Now, moving on from the looks, you can tell, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that just because, you know, everybody's going to have a different preference. For me, these are an awesome looking shoe, but for others, you may not like the blue suede. I don't see why not, but oh well. The logo on the back is also very cool. As you can see, that's an embroidered logo. They also have a logo there on the strap, just their position name, and then they also have another logo on the actual tongue here, like so. But moving on from the way they look into the actual performance of the shoe, a few things that I want to note. First off is the strap. The strap that goes across the actual top of your foot that locks in the foot is thick. It's thicker than the majority of shoes out there. In fact, when we take a look at the thickness and we compare it to that of, these are B.E.A.UTIFULs, you can see that the strap on that compared to the Position is much thinner. And is much, much thicker than the strap on Romaleos, as you can see, the Nike Romaleos. Now, a few things about these shoes as far as performance that separate themselves from those of the B.E.A.UTIFUL or the Romaleo. First off, the shoe has a wooden heel, and that wooden heel, as I said earlier, not only looks cool, but it functions well. One thing about wood that I've noticed compared to that of the ABS plastic that's used in these is it's got a much better feel to it. So when I stomp on the platform, when I'm doing a jerk or clean or snatch, whatever it is, you know, mainly jerks, but whenever I snap my heel into the wood of the platform, there's that direct contact with the heel, and it's firm. It's very firm, very stiff, and that's what you want. You want that type of feel that when you're, you know, placing your heel into something, you've got that secure heel and it's digging into, I guess, the platform. Not so much digging, but pressing into the platform. So that's one thing that I really liked about the shoe was the heel. And the heel is also, through a special process, it's kind of shaped at an angle. It's kind of hard to see, but it flares out, and that allows for a more stable position. The heel on this is actually higher than that of the Romaleos or the B.E.A.UTIFULs, and I think it's 1.25 I think millimeters, and then these are 0.75 millimeters. So it gives you a little bit higher heel. That's kind of similar to what you see on the Chinese weightlifting team. What they use is called the antas, B.E.A.UTIFUL shoes. But this has a little bit similar heel to those, just puts you in a more upright position. Now, moving on to actually the fit of the shoe. The shoe is a little bit wide, okay? It's a little bit wider than some of the other shoes I've used, especially the B.E.A.UTIFULs. It's a little bit more similar to the B.E.A.UTIFULs, maybe even a little bit wider. And as you can see, the toe is very rounded, okay? And I mean, the B.E.A.UTIFULs is a wide shoe, and you can tell the toes there are quite a bit different. And then this would be compared to the B.E.A.UTIFUL. So it's got a very round toe. Not a bad thing, just a different nuance. It doesn't have as much of a profile feel to it. It is wide enough in the toe box where it adds for good toe splay, which is something that I enjoyed. And you know, whenever you're doing something like a clean and jerk or a snatch, you want to be able to dig your toes and spread them out. That way you can grip the floor. Okay, so taking a look at the actual bottom of the shoe, the grip on the bottom of the shoe is enough for a platform. You know, it's just a grippy rubber. I've had no issues with it so far. It grips the platform just as you'd like, just as well as any of the other top weightlifting shoes, and I see no problems with that. As far as the construction goes, like I said, this is a handmade shoe, so it does have some things that, you know, aren't perfect between the shoes, for example. And this is kind of picky, but if you take a look at the inside of the heel there, where that meets, and then you take a look at the inside of this one, they're at different distances, just to show you, for example. Okay, so this one right here goes farther into the shoe. Is that a big deal? No, it doesn't change anything on the shoe or anything like that. Just something to be aware of. A couple things that I didn't like about the shoe. One, this leather here. Okay, this ox split leather that's used, the blue suede, that's nice leather, it really is. I think it may be pleather, I'm not sure what it is, but that white leather is just cheap, and the white leather here is cheap. You know, does that matter into the performance? Probably not. Does it matter in the durability? Possibly. But you know, if you're gonna spend some money on a shoe, you know, I want a shoe that's gonna last, and I want it's gonna look good, and I want quality materials, and you know, that kind of just brought it down a level for me compared to the rest of the shoe, because the rest of the shoe is made with such high quality materials. I don't know why they would, you know, cheap out on that part. Another thing I didn't really like a whole lot was this branding here on the toe strap. I wish they would have changed that up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know what they could have done differently. Maybe just left it all blue. I just don't really like the way it looks when it's on. Once again, that doesn't affect the profile, and some of you may, or affect the actual performance, and many of you probably will like that. Other than that, the fit and the feel and the performance is great. You know, I've been using these for a while. I've used these a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the Nikes compared to the Adidas, just because I have a thinner foot. But I found that I've been using these quite a bit, especially compared to these. I thought, you know, I'd use them for the review and then I'd stop using them and I'd go back to my normal Adidas. But in reality, I've kind of stuck with these. I like the look. I like the classic look. I love the heel. I love the way it feels. It's got a great fit, great performance, and really it's just an overall good shoe. There's a few minor things that I wish they would change, but overall it's very secure. If you want extra security, you can strap down that strap. It's got a nice Velcro strap to it. But I would definitely suggest those that want a shoe that is different from, you know, the big two that are out there, different than the Reebok CrossFit lifters. Check these out. You know, give them a try. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna like them. Position's a small company. They're making these mainly by hand, which is awesome to see. And I'm excited to see what they do in the future as they continue to grow these and make them more popular. So check them out. It's a great shoe, great company. I give them a thumbs up.